start over here. Kel Surprise. Disney's decision on Doctor Who future delayed until 2026 is bad. Not delayed. Oh, why are you saying delayed? Right? They have until 2026 to make a decision, and they've made a decision. The answer is no. Greta Thunberg is Lord Farquhar. That is so true. That is so true. Right? The guy who played Jahim in Wrath of Khan was the other character in the same episode. Well, I did not know that. Well, there you go. A little trivia, learn something new every day. Did the decision on Doctor Who's future delayed until 20 says Bad Wolf. Again, that's when they got to take up the contract, I think. Future of Doctor Who will not be decided until 2026 now, according to Bad Wolf Jane Transit. Yeah, they just want to push it off. Right? Okay, they can't air The War Between the Land and the Sea with everybody knowing that this era is cancelled, right? Because then it's just like, it's airing something from a defunct era. Right? It's it was suicide for your ratings. Not that they're going to be any good anyway, but it really means it's going to kill them, right? As I recall, Bad Wolf struck a 26 episode deal with Disney Studios bringing Disney Plus on board, the international home of Doctor Who. Since then, 2 full seasons comprising of 8 episodes have been broadcast worldwide on Disney Plus to no fanfare whatsoever, along with 2 Christmas specials and 3 2023 anniversary specials, making 21 episodes of the show, plus the final 5 episodes will be The War Between the Land and the Sea, set to air in 2026. And then and only then does Disney have to make a decision whether or not they want... Well, yeah, that's the end, right? I think, oh man, this is exactly what I guessed. It was exactly what I said it would be. Yeah, nobody ever listens to me, of course. Imagine a time when Disney are having huge cuts themselves. There's been slashes in program budgets. They're looking to... I mean, could you imagine if they hadn't have launched the Stream Wars in the era of woke? Right? Can you imagine the money they put into these things? We're actually tasked to make good entertainment. Right? Oh. It's like... It's really tragic. Right? It's really genuinely tragic. We could have been living through this super golden age of incredible... I mean, imagine if every Marvel show wasn't shit, but was actually good. Right? Imagine if every Star Wars show wasn't. Imagine Star Trek. There's been so much of it, and they've all been shit. Right? We got like 10 episodes of Picard and 1 season of Strange New Worlds, but basically it's shit. But can you imagine if they actually made something that wasn't like... If they didn't go woke, essentially, we could have been living in a golden age. Right, but no. And so now, they spent all the money. They pissed all their money out the wall. They don't have any more left. It didn't bring them any subscriptions. It was a total failure, right? Most people subscribe to streaming services because they're back catalog, and most people watch things from no later than 2015 onwards, right? Because after that, it gets woke shit. Like the last 10 years was woke shit, mostly, right? And people are just done with it. It's over. So they're Disney making huge cuts themselves. Again, can you imagine if we didn't have a woke shit Obi-Wan show? It would have been awesome. Baby Leia, fuck me, that was awful. I imagine a time when Disney having huge cuts themselves. There have been slashes in program budgets. They're looking to take the time to balance everything out to decide what they want to do. They're not picking it, for fuck's sake. What? Yeah, why would you think they're going to pick you up, right? You have not been a success for them. You have not been a success for anyone, right? Despite all the uncertainty, Jane Tranter was confident that Doctor Who was not in jeopardy. Well, I mean, they're going to make more. Okay, fine. I mean, hopefully they'll get back to making Doctor Who like Doctor Who. See, that was not a question of if they return, but when. Again, they're saying Christmas 2026. They can't announce anything until after War Between the Land and Sea airs. And I guess everything's under wraps till then. Right? This represents another shift in messaging from, of course, because they get life through their fucking teeth. right? Ross Lee Davis has previously suggested the decision on the program's future would come soon after Series 15. And with the Warner Land confirmed, waiting a confirmation date, fans face a long wait. Well, I thought it was going to air this year. I really did. Whether Disney will also 2025 will be a Doctor Who free. Oh no, it won't be. Doctor Who free. I forgot we had it earlier this year. Well, they're not. They're not going to be. They're not coming. Please stop. They're not. They're not. Hedging a bet on where Billy Piper's the next Doctor. She's not, and he knows it. She knows they're not. Right. Fine. So what's Shooty been doing? Shooty is now. This is what again. This is the thing that annoys me about Shooty Gatwa. This is his natural environment, like gay theatre. And saying the word gay is kind of redundant, I think. Born with Teeth Rick Money, I got 3 out of 5 stars. Right? Now, he's playing Marlowe to somebody else in Shakespeare, and I guess they're gay and fuck a lot. Right? Like, whenever Shooty's being pitched anything, okay, Shooty, we want you to play a butcher. Right? And you're gay and you fuck a lot. Oh, yeah, I can do that. I can totally do that. So what they say, how did they only get 3 out of 5 stars? I'm surprised. Gatwas, Christopher Marlowe, and Ezra Bluemill's Shakespeare flirt, fight, and write. Okay, not everybody's gay. In Liz Duffy's Adams' sizzling new chamber play. Forget William Shakespeare. This is Christopher Marlowe's moment, starring Edward Bluemill by Lady Jane and Killing Eve as a hard-working, wary Will, as Shooty Gatwa, the point of being earnest Doctor Who, as the randy, troublesome kid. Oh, fuck me. He only plays one character. He really does. New chamber play squirrels the literary titans away in a room from 1591 to 1593, playing out energetic, erotic visions and some other historians suspicious that the playwright's life and Kit's violent death were more intertwined. I just think it's gay people wanting to insert themselves. Well, they like to insert themselves. I'm a big fan of insertion as well, but not in so many places. But it's queer insertion. Stop. I don't think he was gay. I know nothing about Shakespeare, but I don't think he was gay. Maybe he was, but I doubt it. Right? It's a history play. Will chides as Kit bends the truth, and the script of Henry VI Part 1, which the two great poets are writing together. All the more reason to enjoy our imaginations, Kit retorts with the exaggerated flourish of his quill, enjoying historical license. Her character grants her. Duffy Adams whips the competitors friendly. Oh, her is in the person who wrote this, right? Whips her competitors into a frenzy. And then releases them at each other's throat, letting them flirt, threaten, fight, and occasionally write. But the bold imagination Kit calls for in reframing history is restrained by David Evans' staging. 3 walls of Neil Austin's Blind Delights are form the writer's cage on a wooden table on the stage. Bed and barrier, and the charge of motion flip-flop from rivals to lovers. I'm like, everybody's gay. There's sometimes earnest outpourings, sitting flush with stabbings, insults, and religious musings. The sharp shock of innovation in the opening scene exists in isolation, with the rest of the show relegated to 2 men prowling around a table, bursts of violence, bursts of violent action, and reserved for mid-act screens. So I'm bored already. Blah, 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 blah. The ego pump versions of these 2 men we see on stage would be a delight. It would be delighting to audience and academics to continue to ogle their works and lives through. Kit would no doubt be fuming at Will's star, having so drastically eclipsed his. Again, it's on. So it's only on for 2 months, September, October. All right, but again, look, it's everything has to be gay. I don't understand it. Like, what? Literally, we got to make everything gay. What was everything else? Oh no, cat just came in. Hey, Whitey, how you doing, darling? 5. So that was that. David Tennant's wife flooded with support after horrendous death threat. I don't know why she got a death threat, right? But I'm gonna make a guess. Maybe it's because she's a irritating cunt. I mean, she seems like one of the most awful people in the universe, right? She seems like, I mean, look, she's led David Tennant by his nose and say, "Hey, David, how about flushing away all that charisma and love the whole world had for you, right? How about doing that? And we could, just be obnoxious champagne socialist cunts together." And he went, "Oh, yeah, but let me be a bit more pussy whipped to you first, darling." Doctor Who star David then got married Georgia in 2011. The pair originally met in the BBC drama where he played his daughter Jenny, or sort of. David Tennant's wife has been flooded with support from fans and friends after horrendous death threats aimed at her online. What for? I mean, again, oh God, she just is like an awful mother to me. Really, genuinely awful. But, I'm one of the sort of people who think there are no trans children, just terrible parents. The pair originally met at a long-running... Okay, fine, Georgia put married in Doctor Who. The pair originally met on the long-running TV series. She recently took to Instagram to share the terrifying ordeal and added screenshots. Well, tell me more. The Harry Post read, "Whoever kills Georgia Tennant immediately will receive a reward from me." Okay, well, what's the reward? I can't imagine it's good enough. Second image shows Georgia attempting to report a thing from post being promptly denied by Facebook. The social media told her platform said the post did not violate the community standards, and Georgia added, "I've been sent this by a friend out of curiosity. What will constitute a community standards? Look, we say you got to understand that you're liberals, everything okay." Ad removed. Can we see this on Instagram? But why do they want her dead? I don't know, why do they want you? Like, what were they saying? Killed you? I don't understand. What the fuck is wrong with these people? I'm so sorry you had to deal with it. Again, why do they say, "What did you do, Georgia, to make people want to kill you?" I mean, I think it's a fair question, don't you? I think so. Like, what did you do? So there's no screen grab or anything there. All right. Well, thank you for that. That's a weird story. For that matter, who cares? And his play only got 3 out of 5 with the Express as well. Blimey, the Guardian Express agree. So, shooting at where Edward Blumel's ferocious fight and flirt as Marlowe and Shakespeare in the European premiere of Born with... Oh, God. Everything is gay. Everything is gay. Former Doctor Who showrunner teaser when the show might return. It was going nowhere. Stephen Moffat said... he's basically saying the decision won't be made till after the spin-off. Again, look, you heard it here first, that they're aiming for Christmas 2026 for New Doctor Who, which means, there's got to be production getting underway pretty darn soon, right? Yeah. I mean, I think that's what that means. And meanwhile, Ivey, more Jodie Whittaker. Oh, God, I can't. I was just going to read this. Okay, now I just saw Face of Evil, which is literally my favorite Doctor Who story. How are they comparing this to Face of Evil? The second Big Finish audio drama featuring Jodie Whittaker and Mandip Gill in their proper season of Doctor Who is now up for pre-order. Again, why don't they just use the original script for their Christmas special that they had to shelve, that Kibnall had written, right? Maybe just answer my own question. The one is proper land on an alien planet, hilarity enthused adventure Though it also tackles the long-running question: does the hero always leave things better? Well, not Jodie. She's a fucking disaster wherever she went. Right? She is literally a disaster. What are we up to? Does it always make things better, save the day, or do they leave a mess in the wake? Jodie always leaves a mess in the wake. First thing we did talk about. I was just thinking during those opening titles, what would the Master look like against the Christopher Eccleston Doctor? Who would be a good Master for that? I mean, you could say Derek Jacobi Master. Like, okay, well, here's a question: who's your favorite Master? Right? That's actually a fair question. I mean, like I'm of a generation where I feel ashamed not to, with a knee-jerk reaction, go Delgado, obviously, and he's not. I have to tell you, he's not my favorite Master. He's good, but he's not my favorite. I mean, look, Ainley. Okay, so you got Delgado, you got Ainley. I mean, the face falling offy guy. Jeffrey. Oh, do you count Jeffrey Beavers now? He's had that big run and big finish. I guess you have to. All right, if you're going to count Derek Jacobi, which I think you should, you'll have to count Jeffrey Beavers, right? Let me think. But the Jeffrey Beavers Masters isn't the same Master as the guy from the end of Deadly Assassin, is it? I don't think so. I think actually, I got this whole origin story in my head somehow that the Jeffrey Beavers Master was attempting something with the Weeping Angels or some Weeping Angel offshoot, right? And that's essentially where the Melker came from, right? And that's why he was trapped within the Melker at not Logopolis, not Castrovalva, not Fortitude, Keeper of Traken, right? Good little story there. But because they always struck me, those Melkers, that they're like Weeping Angels. They're very much like Weeping Angels. I think the Master was, he fused his TARDIS, but he was supposed to be in incredible pain all the time because he was permanently burning, right? So I don't think he's the same Master as the really horrific one from Deadly Assassin. That's the most horrific Master, right? And of course, it was always intimated that was a desiccated form of the Roger Delgado Master. And it's also delightfully out of sequence, isn't it? I do like it. So anyway, we got... I'm going to count in the Jeffrey Beavers one, right? Fine. So we got Delgado, Ainley, Jeffrey Beavers, John Sim. Yeah, I think you got... obviously John Sim. I think Derek Jacobi, but Derek Jacobi more for his big finish performance. And then you got what's it called again? Alex McQueen. Oh yeah, I'm going to put a big finish. Because they have a release called Masterful, which is actually kind of good. Big finish before it really went off the rails. Oh, big finish. Man, I like their website opens up quick. Oh, they got season 18, so let's have a quick look at it. That font, just drags me in. Season 18 cell, get the lens flares out. What they got here? No, I can't recommend any of them. I mean, they are not cheap enough. I'm sorry. I mean, I like Guardians of Prophecy. That's a sequel to Keeper of Traken. It's not really season 18 though. All right. Goth Opera is the best one out of it, but $25 is too much. Right? It really genuinely is too much. No, nothing to see there. I was looking for Masterful. Masterful. There you go. Go for this one because it's got a cover that we can see all the Masters on it. And of course, they wrote out the what's his name as a Master. He wasn't very good, quite frankly. The non-Master. Okay, so you got Missy. I didn't throw her into the mix, right? Alex McQueen. Honestly, and also you got Eric Roberts. See, this is why I looked at this. Man, this is going to be hard. What is the name of the guy they fired? Oh, it's really going to annoy me if I can't think of it. Hang on. I'll go over, open the new window. And it was... what's the sequel to The Greatest Show in the Galaxy? He was in that. I forgot, and now I can't remember that either. I guess we went for Sylvester McCoy releases. All right. That might... But what was that in the main range? Oh, that was back in the main range. Oh, fine. We go over here. Monthly Adventures. the defunct Adventures. Oh man, it's gonna be so hard going back through. It's like wading through all this shit. It's really here actually. This is the guy. What's his name again? James Dreyfus, the James Dreyfus Master. I forgot he was in this. This was actually, I think, one of the best of that season of Full Doctor Adventures. Yeah, the Master did turn up, and that was Tom Baker. Anyway, so we got... Why did they not have Delgado on this? All right, again, and why are they not getting John Culshaw just to do Delgado? He does a perfect Delgado, right? I mean, look, we're okay with him doing Peter Capaldi. So, okay, out of this, I don't know. I think Aang is really my favorite Master. Just he's so crazy, right? He is so messed up and crazy, right? Then I kind of like I like Missy. I think Missy works very well. And just after Missy is Derek Jacobi. I know a lot of you hate Missy, right? Derek Jacobi is fantastic as Master. He's so evil. Like, he's so incredibly evil. Oh, he's great. I'm not really counting Mark Gatiss because it was like an alternate dimension Master. I think you could probably say the same thing about the Alex McQueen Master, but he's very good. I like. He's a much more Mikura one. So I don't know. Let me think. Okay, I'm going to go like this. Here's my ranking of Masters off the top of my head. We're going to say, maybe I should write this out. Make my life easier. Hang on. I'll write out here first, and I'll share the screen afterwards, so we can decide that we can marvel in how right I am. So I'm going to go with the Ainley Master first because I just like him. I mean, again, I like in my head. He spent like days and days disguised as a scarecrow in a field, giggling to himself, gently, waiting for the doctor to show up. Right? He does crazy shit. I'm like, that's the Master I imagine into weird sex and drugs, right? So I'm like, okay, fine. Then I'm going to say Derek Jacobi because, man, he's so evil. Oh, he is so incredibly evil. Is it Derek Jack? And he seems so sweet as well. That's what makes him so evil. Then I'll go for, I missed out. What's her name? Michelle Gomez. So this gives you an idea of my weird taste, right? Ainley, Michelle Gomez, Derek Jacobi. Now I'm going to go for Roger Delgado. Roger Delgado. He's number 4. And then Eric Roberts. I do like Eric Roberts. Like he's just kind of just so bored with everything, but I kind of like him. I think Alex McQueen after that. Actually, no, you know what? I mean, I kind of like the John Sim complete insanity, right? I mean, and he is completely bonkers. Alex McQueen. So that goes after John Sim. Who am I missing out? And then, Jeffrey Beavers. Doesn't really do much. I mean, I like Jeffrey Beavers as well. But, like, yeah, the bottom of the Masters for me, mate. And then, what's this guy's name again? James Dreyfus. I'm going to say James Dreyfus above that. James Dreyfus. I'm spelling his name wrong. Is that one of the Masters? Let me think. Check Jeffrey. I'm not doing Mark Gaddis. Doesn't count. I'm sorry, doesn't count. Okay, so I got him. I got Jeffrey Beavers, got Alex McQueen. I got Michelle Gomez, John Sim, Derek Jacobi. Yeah, okay, got one. And Milo, whatever. Fuck off. No, Milo Parker. That you brought him in to replace the James Dreyfus, right? That's the only reason he's there. Fine. Okay, now inquiring minds want to know. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at that list. Share screen. Doink. There you go. Fine. So, Anthony, again, I love the insanity of Anthony Haley. And again, I just imagine how messed up he is. And there's a really nice thing, and the only good thing about From Time Lord Victorious was a short story with the Ainley Master when it was like repairing some of his clothes, his mercurial nature. That was actually very good. So Annie and Michelle Gomez, I think, worked because for the Master book, it's got to be a reflection of the Doctor, right? And Michelle Gomez was an amalgam of the of all the Masters, in the same way that Kabata was an amalgam of all the Doctors. This was a great characters, Archie Garland, but should have been either the Rani or a new character. See, I think this is one of the few cases where the gender swapping really, really worked in story. Right, because if you recall, it was actually kind of a shit story, generally speaking, that first year. But that the Doctor didn't recognize the Master because she had changed gender, indicating it was a big deal and a strange thing to happen. Right? Someone says, "No, Rabbi, it didn't. It didn't what? I don't know." Right? It's. So they seem to make a big enough deal about that change of gender that it was outlandish. So and I found that performance really kind of worked because it did fuse together for me, the insanity of John Sim, the suaveness of Kate and Roger Delgado, the intelligence of Jacobi. It all kind of fused together really, really nicely, right? Michelle Gomez is better than Eric Roberts. Okay, says Rabbi. Well, yeah, it's on my list then. Eric Roberts, again, I kind of like his American Master. It's kind of fun, right? It is kind of fun. Now, are there any other Masters that I'm missing? I can't think of any. I think, did they have a new one in the New Adventures? I can't really. I think they did. Right, I think they did. Anyway, that would be my highly scientific ranking of Masters. Until I do it again, when everything's going to be different. I'll probably keep Anthony Ainley at the top. Right, I will probably keep Anthony Ainley at the top. Anyway, my pitch to Sergeant Conan would be the War Doctor and the War Master in ancient Rome. Oh, please, Tamacleek and Claudius. No idea where that comes by. That would be incredible. Okay, the absolute best of the War Master. I'll pull that up before we get into the stories. Big Finish. I'm doing this because Big Finish's website now miraculously opens up quickly. Right, he used to be a dog. Oh man, doink, share screen, doink. Yeah. Is it here? It'll be the War Master. There you go. Boink. Sort by. We'll do recent first. I've got another one coming out. Yeah, this is where I essentially stopped watching, stopped listening to them, and I bought it. I just like bored by it. But this one, I mean, it's ridiculously overpriced, right? But this one is fan freaking tastic. This is the War Master. He gets caught in a kind of Dalek plot plan thing at the beginning, a trap, and he escapes to the land of fiction. And it's real, and he's so insanely cruel because he knows the characters are not real; they're fictional, and even they work. So he's toying with them a lot, right? It's just, I mean, absolutely excellent. Who wrote this? David Lenz, Shana Patel, Lizzie Hopley, and Alfie Shaw. Okay, but they pulled this one off because I would say those names are not good news. Man, 2022. That was a bad time for Big Finish. What's this greatest trick? Is that out yet, or is that one comes out next? That's October. Okay. Galloway's most evil Time Lords become so dangerous that both sides of the time will agree. The one thing, the Master must be destroyed. That's actually a good idea. Okay. I like that idea. That's a really strong idea. However, even the Daleks and the Time Lords conspire. The Master is about to pull his greatest trick. I mean, I like that idea. That's a really okay. I shit on Big Finish a lot. Will they be able to stick the landing? Probably not, right? So his first story is called like many a top class criminal. The Master has been caught on a misdemeanor, but the Time Lords and Daleks intend to destroy him forever. But they can't do it alone. Can the two sides of the deadly time war come together to eradicate a mutual enemy? But as the Master show trial commences, there's a danger that his misdemeanor may not be as minor as they thought. That sounds like a very typical War Master story, right? It really does. Again, it always has him ending on top, laughing as people like writhe in agony at his feet. The Master has taken charge of an exclusive alien girls' school. What? Where he's lying low. But when pushed by a suspicious colleague, he weaves a treacherous web around the students and teachers alike. Again, that doesn't very much sound like him. Under the guise of choosing a new head girl, the headmaster... I mean, this sounds like the plot of a porn movie to me, quite frankly. Headmaster sets off on a twisted competition, a race for survival, where there can only be one winner. Okay. Fine. Damaged by a Dalek time destructor, the Master's TARDIS is spat from the vortex onto the planet Haroka, a hub of the Earth Empire's transmat network, and a site of a refugee camp. Injured, the Master is taken to hospital by the ever-hopeful activist Carla Zheng. I mean, man, that you're an actor's fuck off. Right? Activist really means you're talking about a Nazi. Right? I'm assuming you're all woke as fuck, right? And like activists are normally Nazis. I mean, like, and I hate Jews, the whole thing. Activist normally means Nazi. On the run for Better Darkness and Time Lord, the Master stumbles across an out-of-control capsule where the crew is on a mission from ancient Gallifrey to a legendary planet, Hepharas, where they hope to prevent the cult of the infinite from activating the great engine, the device that the Seers foresaw would end all time. But both factions of the Time War, and the apocalypse is just what the Master needs. I can tell you, that sounds pretty darn good, right? I am impressed with that log line. Who's producing this? Script writer Robert Valentine. No, I know a lot of people don't like Robert Valentine. I actually do, right? He's also directing it. Okay, listen, that's got a strong idea behind it. And again, I'm always shitting on Big Finish. Anyway, solitary confinement, it's kind of bored me. Self-defense is they brought in David Tennant's doctor to interact with him, wasn't bad. Killing time, no. Again, $40 for this. It's ridiculous. Right? It should be $9.99. I'm sorry. Killing Time really didn't work. It was a kind of a nasty horror. And you know, you put it's not nice to see Joe Grant or Nista in like being like nastily tortured. These two were good. Hearts of Darkness and Anti-Genesis. Both of those are excellent. Again, I can't recommend for that amount of money. It's ridiculous. And Rage of the Time Lost, Miles Callister is actually very good as well. And only the good is great. But again, they're just ridiculously expensive. I genuinely ridiculously expensive. Anyway, why are we talking about the Warmaster? Oh, Ancient Rome. Fine. So it's apart from men's rights activists, says Odious Artist. Fine. Speaking of men's rights activists, let's go with this. Doctor Who star Jinx Monsoon wants to buy iconic X-Men character MCU reboot. Jinx, you're a bloke, right? I think it'd be a really cool idea have a trans woman be Mystique. No, it wouldn't be a cool idea. Look, Jinx, mate, nobody means you any harm or ill will. Just most people find, like, you know, the cross-dressing thing deeply unsettling, right? Something that you don't want your kids to be around. Like, yeah, you live you and you live your life, but you got to understand this is a very unconventional life, which I think for most people will lead to them dying alone and miserable, right? I don't think just following your whatever your body tells you that it wants is the way to happiness, right? And I feel this seems like deeply narcissistic, but I'm not dictating my view on you. I'm not even dictating them on my children. My children are free to do whatever they want, right? They're adults, and they know, generally speaking, I respect their choices, and I respect their choices because I respect them, right? But also, they kind of know that chicks don't have dicks, you know, generally speaking. So I mean, like, yeah, we share similar values, but we don't share values completely. Me and my children. And so again, good for. I wouldn't imprint my values on them, right? I mean, I did, but I wouldn't like insist upon them. Yeah. That being said, most normal people are done with this shit, right? Right. It's not that we hate you; we're just done, like, you know, indulging your narcissistic need for attention, which is what it seems to be for me, right? And I know it's important that you feel seen, and that because it breaks social taboos, right? And you know that's why you love to be seen, all right? That's why she would go, okay, oh, I feel so seen. Oh, I'm so seen. What the fuck does that mean? We're about to. Not now. But the very times hears that a lot. Doctor Who star Jinx Monsoon has revealed that she would love to play Mystique in a X-Men reboot. No, she's also supposed to be sexy. Speaking of Jessie Fox's Good One podcast, the actress who plays the villain Maestro played and never playing again, never coming back. It's over. Goodbye. She's ready for a trans woman to play an X-Men character. Well, good for you. We're not. We're not. You know, the people who will go see X-Men movies, we're not. I would not go and see an X-Men movie with my grandkids if there was a woman with a penis in it. I think that's deeply confusing and you know, generally speaking, you know, misogynistic. Can I manifest? I think she said Marvel has now regained the rights to the X-Men. I think a really cool idea for a trans woman to play Mystique. Well, I don't. Right, I think Rebecca Romaine or what's her name? Hunger Games. Not Jennifer Connelly. Look at Hunger Games. Hunger Games, starring Jennifer Lawrence. A bit of Jane. How old is she now, Jennifer Lawrence? She was like permanently 16 for a long time. Now she's 35. Blimey, is she still a total mess? I don't know. How old is Elizabeth Banks? Now at 51. Yeah, she seems it. Anyway. No offense, Liz. No offense, darling. Explain the famous X-Men character has long resonated with trans audiences thanks to a shape-shifting ability. You're not the only people in the world, right? You're not the only people in the world. And you put a trans actress in there, say goodbye to half America. You're not getting into the Chinese audience anyway. They said, fuck off now. They got their own cinema, right? You can't afford to make a movie and tell half the audience to fuck off, which is essentially what you're doing, right? And by saying I don't want to try, by me saying, and by my demographic saying trans women are not women, we find the idea certainly are women offensive, right? You if you want to, you can either support us or you can try to support the chicks with dicks. If you support us, you lose maximum what 2-3% of your audience. If you support the chicks with dicks, you lose 45 to 50% of your audience, right? So it's your choice, mate. You go the way you want. She's my favorite character, Marvel character of all time. I relate to her so much, so I think a lot of trans people do. I think it'll be nice to make your own character, right? Be able to make and be able to just blend in and not have everybody pay attention to us if we don't want. Darling, hey, you're a fucking drag queen and you're complaining about the attention. You're an attention whore. And then you complain about the attention, right? Must be fine. Where was it? Here we go. Oh, it's going to be hard to type without saying what I'm saying. 1 second. Oh God, that was. This is it. Yeah. The clip we're about to see will entirely illustrate the point you just made.
It's the worldwide privacy club. We want privacy. We want privacy. It's the worldwide privacy club. Live from the television studios in Toronto, it's Good Morning, Canada. It has been several months now since our beloved Queen has died. All Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the Prince and his wife. We want privacy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Jinx Monsoon complaining that she has too much attention. Maybe you shouldn't be a 6-foot bloke in a dress who can sing and dance. I don't know. That will normally, bring attention to you. We also relate to the fact that she's not accepted in her original form, and she has to transition to even walk around people. Yeah, okay, we're fine with you in your original form, right? It's like when you transition to walk around people, we don't really like it. I texted my agent, and I was like, I don't know what's going on there, but please stop dropping my name. Oh, it just feels kind of cruel. That what? No one's told you? Really? No one told you? Okay. Although, where was it? Mystique, who made her first appearance in 1970, has been portrayed in live action by Rebecca Romaine in the original X-Men trilogy and later by Jennifer Lawrence in the prequel films. Although Romaine is set to reprise a shape-shifting role in the upcoming Avengers film Doomsday, Marvel Studios Kevin Feige previously said the major recast was blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Marvel's fucked. Marvel's just fucked. Yeah. Jinx, it's not happening, darling. It's not happening, darling. You've got to get over it, all right? It's not going to happen. Former Doctor Who said, oh no, I think we covered it the other day. Former Doctor Who showrunner argues that BBC has a national duty to keep making the show. I do agree with him. I think it sounds like Moffat, right? But they should make it like Doctor Who, not like weird queer shit Doctor Who, right? Let's play a clip right for a second. One of the most misjudged things of all time. Let me just find it. Misjudged things of all time. That'll be the RTD2. Definitely one of the most misjudged things of all time. Doctor Who. We over here. I'm pretty sure I have this episode. Where is it? Not Star Beast. Wish World. No, was Wish World the last one? Oh, this is it. Here we go. Doink. When he does his big reveal when he comes out wearing a dress. I'm out much earlier than this. Yeah, look, he's happy as a kid. Everything's good in the world. But no.
Nice surprise. Daddy's here.
Yeah, okay. What? And this is him breaking out of the evil control. Damn this being a loving husband with a good family that I'm happy. I want some cock up my ass. That's what I want. And then Shazam! It's like when Jinx Masu said it should be Mystic. Stop with this nonsense. So yes, they should make Doctor Who, but it should actually be recognizably Doctor Who, right? National News keep making the show. With the future of Doctor Who up in the air after it was destroyed, former showrunner Stephen Moffat on BBC has a national duty to continue making the show. They are going to continue making it. I firmly believe that. Right? Again, I believe their goal is a Christmas special in 2026. Right? Will it get there? Every reason to believe so. Right? They said with a reality tour, should have got regenerated into Billy Pie, but everyone's waiting for a decision from Disney. They've made their decision. They're saying fuck thee, bye-bye. Although Kate Phillips, Chief Content Officer of the BBC, has said it will continue with or without Disney. Yes, without. Right? But I hope it comes back. I don't have any inside information, but I'm vaguely in touch with Rusty Davis, who doesn't say the word Doctor Who anymore without screaming and then collapsing into a fetal position and crying out uncontrollably. That we're usually talking about the fact that we're both working at Channel 4 at the moment. He's got number 10 and Russell got Tiptoe. I don't know what the future is. I hope there is one. I have no idea. It's interesting that he doesn't know. Really? He must know. The spin-off's been shot, and I imagine decision doesn't get made until that's gone out. They used to say the decision doesn't get made until season 2 goes out, right? I am like, is the decision going to be made when Netflix starts making it? I don't know. I think there's a national duty. But it's always painful when it's off the air. I think there's national duty for the BBC to make Doctor Who. I do kind of agree with you, but it's got. I mean, it's got to be real. You know, it's got to be real Doctor Who, and not like what the weirdo twink fucks at the BBC think is real. Thankfully, Phillips and PSB feel the same. It's been rest assured. Any Whovians out there, rest assured. Doctor is going nowhere. War between land and sea. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, but you know, Doctor Who is somewhat on its arse, mate. Right? I mean, the brand is at its weakest point that I've ever seen it. Right? It might have been weaker in 1969. I mean, when this comes out, Jodie Whittaker. Why? Plus, we speak to Jesse Armstrong, Chris General, Joe Corneth, and Jack. I don't even know who those people are or care, frankly. Anyway, Spin Zone, right? Let's look at the Doctor Who magazine Spin Zone, where they tried somehow tell us that the shit show that was the season 2 wasn't bad. It might after it might be good. So okay, let's start with this. Actually, did there one before this? No. Let's start with this story engine, which was epic. Oh no, Lucky Day. Fuck me. Oh god, 2 awful episodes back to back, right? Story of the Engine, I feel really bad. I think that was a really interesting thing in there. Maybe a TV, maybe like a little mini series or something, just not Doctor Who. Right? It was completely nonsensical. right? Just completely nonsensical. And a weird insertion of a lesbian relationship in Africa, where it's kind of frowned upon. But Lucky Day, fuck me, like the episode that they had no internal logic whatsoever, right? Where you got this guy who has this massive podcast, right? Has a massive staff, must be making millions, right? And nobody's ever heard from him in Unit, right? And his podcast is about debunking Unit, right? And so he does this whole thing to prove that there aren't any monsters and it's all a pretend, and ends up with Shooty Cat putting him in a cell and giving a good talking to at all the other evil white wing people online. All the evil people. Oh, God, that's such morals. Anyway, Lucky Day. Simon Gurrier, I'm telling you, you are a modern-day Shakespeare if you can somehow weave this into not being awful. There's some disquieting ideas in Lucky Day. Yes, yeah, the central ones, for example. For a start, the outlandish idea that an 8-year-old from 2007 would be an adult now. Surely that can't be true. Okay. And there's Ruby Sunday suffering post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of a year of adventure. Well, actually makes a lot of sense, right? According to the NHS, the most common symptom of PTSD is re-experiencing, right? When a person involuntarily and vividly relives a traumatic event in a flashback or as a nightmare. As we see this happen in Lucky Day. Most arresting moments, as Ruby describes how the monstrous shriek go hunting and the room falls to silence. That's actually a good bit of it. I know, but Millie Gibson was really good in this whole thing. But like again, how no one from Unit has ever heard of it, and like how did they do this? That makes no sense. It really makes no sense at all, right? One stalks ever closer in time. Did I miss that? Go hunting. The room falls in the darkness, and one stalks ever closer in time with her words. The spell broken, and we're taken back to present day. That was a well directed and put together scene. I will agree. It's just it made no fucking sense because they were just people in costumes somehow, right? You tell a good story, says a man Ruby is talking to, slightly shaken. More on him in a bit, but surely Ruby's head is where head we were in vividly reliving the real experience from a year before that. As viewers we just witnessed the shriek hunting Ruby and the Doctor of yesteryear. Seems to be having fun. Still on a high from meeting the Beatles. Oh, fuck me, they look nothing like the Beatles. It's only in retrospect that Ruby has started the process of how much danger she was in. What a brilliant original idea for a Doctor Who. It's more for like a short trip, right? Than the Doctor Who story, right? I mean, listen, if you wanted to bring back an old companion and have them like somewhat trapped by PTSD, but I guess make the PTSD like real and some kind of like alien what's the word? Parasite, right? That metastasize PTSD into physical form, right? And it's only by like rejecting the reality of it they can be cured, sort of thing, right? And that okay, I can see that, right? Bring back old Jamie, or Tegan, Nissa. There's a lot, there's a lot they can do with that, right? Empower the Daleks, ex-commanders establish a support group, empower the Doctor, support group for each other. Yeah, but who cares? Doctor Who's been fanfic for the last 7 years. The session then is that they've been through a kind of crisis that we're seeing here for the first time. Another common symptom of PTSD is withdrawal or emotional numbing, where people shut themselves off. But Ruby bravely shares a story on a podcast and dares to open up about slightly to Klutzy Conrad Cart. Oh, really, Klutzy Conrad Cart, not Klutzy at all. Stock rom-com figure, charmingly played by Jonah Hoa King. Ruby even dares to leave the safe space that she knows at home and work in London for a weekend in a remote village. And again, please tell me that Lucky Day had a lucky day with Ruby, right? I mean, come on, they must have been fucking each other, right? I mean, even with her wearing that weird wig. That could have been a whole episode. City Girl Ruby, out of her element and jumpy with nerves. Not sure whether monsters are in real or PTSD. Yeah, but that was a better one. Yeah, Simon, you're writing a better Doctor Who story than the one that's presented, right? But then comes a shock twist. That makes no sense, right? Makes no sense. Almost exactly half through the episode. Conrad is the monster. Dun, dun, dun. Well, we knew he's a white man. And white men are evil, right? In the queer Doctor Who. Right? White straight men, much more so. They're the worst, right? Not a monster, but a scoundrel. Vain, dishonest, cruel, and emotionally manipulative. The second half of Lucky Day focuses on the threat he poses. It's bigger and brasher than the first half, yet also more familiar. We've seen Unit HQ under siege before. The crisis level is related through the media. Trinity Wells on the One Show weigh in, and they've been done before. Again, these are people railing that they've lost control of the means of communication. They've lost control of the message, right? And it's over, right? It's just so super over, and you're never getting it back again, right? You don't provoke the British public so you hear their voice. Because once they find their voice, it takes a lot. There's normally a lot of blood in the streets before that voice is silenced. They're tapping into anxieties about the media's effect on public perception. It's very moment. It's like similar to the new Superman movie, except the Superman movie was on the side of it was anti the trolls, and you're pro troll, right? You're pro falsehood. In Superman, bad guy Lex Luthor spells out his motivation clearly. With Conrad, we're not sure. Hewlett, Sony Bingham, one of the most shit characters of all time. Genuinely one of the shittest characters of all time. Should I even think that she's out for revenge? Ruby counters that he wants power. Conrad says he wants to expose the truth about that unit faked all the monsters and invasions. Even though he's mauled by a real-life monster, he is unrepentant. The righteous anger of Kate Lethbridge and the Doctor. Oh, please, the righteous anger. I still think they're morally inferior to Conrad over there. And use their power, unleashing the shriek or showing off the TARDIS makes him even more recalcitrant. How do you grapple with an adversary who defies reality itself? Yeah, look, mate, again, Simon. COVID rules are bullshit. Right? I got vaccinated 3 times. I probably should, but young people, no. Right? I hold COVID, and you all said in unison. Right? You told me that January 6th was a violent insurrection by Donald Trump, and no, it wasn't. Right? You've lied and we can see again. We know you're lying. Right? It's we're not denying, and that's the thing. In their head, they say, "Oh, they just can't argue." No, it's these people are just detached from reality. And again, and when reality comes bumbling in, they're shocked. When an election went the way you didn't think. Oh my God! All right, Doctor Who got cancelled. Yeah, it's reality hitting your fantasy bubble that you live in. All of this has a cost. At the end, Ruby just wants to be on her own, or I'll be on you. You can be on your own with me, darling. Somewhere new. I'll take you somewhere new, honey, to get a head around what she's been through. I'd like to see that story. I would especially like to see that story if Ruby, to help get over it, decides to wear the fishnet stockings and suspenders, a schoolgirl uniform and heels, right? That will probably help her get over it. But how, Doctor? I'll show you, Ruby, darling. I'll show you. Don't you worry. I'm here for you, baby. Okay, the unintelligible story of the land and the engine. Oh, man, I saw a Card Daily video where they had an African professor explaining the African concept of time. and it's totally different from the Western concept of time. I can't remember the detail, but it was genuinely fascinating, right? I recommend you go and find that because it'll help you understand the story and the engine. Yeah, I wish you again, lots of really rich, interesting ideas knitted together incomprehensibly and poorly, right? And again, set in Nigeria. Set in Nigeria, had a lesbian relationship in the middle of it. Really? That happens in Nigeria, does it? Is this still Simon Guria? Okay, so again, you can see the people who this episode is made for by the first sentence over here. What an extraordinary episode! I posted on Blue Sky as the credits roll. Exactly, you posted on Blue Sky. That says fucking everything. I posted on Blue Sky. Yeah, only the most insane losers are on Blue Sky. I might need to watch it a couple of dozen times. But again, honestly, if you were talking about diversity in entertainment, somebody should give him a who was the writer? I can't remember the writer. He's like a playwright, and he wanted to do something kind of different, and they kind of forced him to do a barbershop thing, right? But they should. I wish I can remember who wrote this, right? And they should give him like a good producer. Right, and do this as a 6-part miniseries, right? Again, making it separate from Doctor Who. I really think it would have worked then, right? Because it had a lot of very rich, interesting ideas. It couldn't fit into 45 minutes, right? And it was totally nothing to do with Doctor Who, right? It's a very unusual episode of Doctor Who. The TARDIS has rarely landed in Africa before. And never for very long. Yeah, when I was watching, I said earlier, I was watching an extra from the season 26 Blu-ray, where it had Ben Aronovich, Mark Platt, Rhoda Munro, and Ian Briggs, and Andrew Cartmel, basically having food, having drinks and dinner together, right? He didn't know that Nicholas Courtney could speak Swahili, right? And Bambera was supposed to be Swahili. He said, if I know and I would have put something into it, like I would have brought that into it that they could both speak Swahili, right? I thought that would have worked great. I would totally bring Aronovich back for a resurrected Doctor Who. I think you're going to get very interesting ideas from him now. He's a much more mature writer, and it was, let's face it, was pretty darn good when he was young. Right, it's a very unusual episode. Again, I feel bad because elements because I think it was really pushed to represent his identity rather than to do a story. Right, where was it? It was around in Africa before, and never for long. It's also unusual for an episode to be set largely inside a shop. Omo's Place, the barbershop in Lagos in 2019, is a new kind of setting for us viewers. But somewhere this particular doctor feels safe, and well, how does he feel safe? He's a gay man, right? Again, if he's publicly gay it is an idea. He's gonna get the shit kicked out of him. How does he feel safe, right? He's so eager to suck a dick. Oh no, but my black skin works. No, they would throw you off a building, mate. But somewhere is a particular Dr. Phil safe. That again is new. He's clearly been to Omo's Place many times off screen. Interludes and adventures suggest with that we've seen on screen only a fraction of the 15th Doctor's life. Well, duh. Yeah, because he got fired. He did a terrible job. Yes, he's only ever seen a fraction of it. We also learn more about the unseen adventures of another incarnation. Brief but welcome return of Joe Martin. Wasn't welcome, but it was brief. Right? The future Doctor promising that story might be finished one day. Mate, nobody gives a shit. I mean, just genuinely nobody gives a shit. Give it up. I mean, again, you're trying to do the future Doctor bullshit on the transmedia event. It's like saying, please fail. Please make it fail. A story about storytelling is always going to be knowingly and self-referential. I have to tell you this. I would say the same thing about the Sandman series on Netflix, right? Man, that's really not a good show. I wish it was, but it really isn't. That's partly due to so much of it being set in one room, like a stage set. Also, the establishing story, the establishing shot, the story engine wasn't recorded on location in Lagos. The markets in the street were instead created in a studio in Cardiff. Well, okay. The set design brought the hustle and bustle of vibrant colours of Lagos brilliant to life, but none of the queer bashing. Strangely, it's weird how they didn't focus on that at all. So much of that this viewer really wanted to go exploring. Not really. Then there's the theatricality of it all, with the story being told, and we've seen an illustrated version of Doctor's first meeting with Omo, but otherwise, their close decades-long relationship is conveyed to us here and through here and now. Yeah, it doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. You're trying to, you can't build, you can't get instant, time, instant chemistry. It's the same with the future Doctor relationship with Abina. Again, like, why do you think same-sex relationship is a thing in Lagos? It's not, right? What happened between them is relayed in the dialogue rather than a flashback. The whole base of the episode is the barber's plot to destroy storytelling gods who we never see. Okay, this seems to be a diss to me. At the end, the Doctor is willing to destroy the shop and risk the lives of the people inside for the sake of 7 billion lives, the population of Earth. Plunging headlong into such rich story is a real joy, and the richness will be rewarded by surely reward repeated viewings. Nope. And that at least isn't completely new. The fifth Doctor of Kinder also conjured rich, strange world, but it did so successfully, right? Within a TV studio and with dense illusions. At the time, Reader Doctor Who magazine voted it the worst of the seven Doctor Who stories broadcast in 1982, but Kinder regards repeated viewing as we're able to grasp it more abstract idea. Yeah, no, again, I'm really not saying this guy didn't have good, interesting ideas. I'm saying it wasn't fashioned into a working episode of Doctor Who, nor do I think these ideas could be. Right? I really want to be clear. I'm not dumping on it. I think it was. I think he's got being. This is the worst example of DEI in that he's a genuinely talented person with an interesting worldview, right? Who's being pigeonholed and highlighted for his skin color and his ethnicity, right? And that's all they're interested in him for, right? And I think he has a lot more to say. I'm sure his popularity will grow and grow. No, this whole era is over. It's dead. It's bunk. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.